you get conjuration from reading the Mysterium Xarxes. Very interesting indeed. Of course, you get conjuration from reading the Mysterium Xarxes because, I mean, well, at least the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, because you're learning about the transmundane. You're removing the veil by understanding these writings from Lord Dagon, which promise the idea of liberty, like he said, the mantia, going beyond the cosmos, beyond this reality into something higher. This is why when you kill that guy who is some sort of a spy who's gonna kill Boris, he says paradise is mine when you kill the Mythic Dawn members, because they're going to paradise after that. It's very interesting. I'm gonna have to read this book because I wanna keep the I'm gonna make some commentaries on the Mythic Dawn commentaries, number 1. Alright. Commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, Book 1 by Mankar Cameron. Greetings, novitiate. I know first a reassurance. Mankar Cameron was once like you, asleep, unwise, protonymic. We mortals live the dreaming sleep of birth, the same, unmantled, save for the symbiosis with our mothers, thus to practice and thus to rapprochement, until finally we might, through new eyes, leave our heart without neither fear that she remains behind. This moment we destroy her forever and enter the demesne of Lord Dagon. What is the demesne, Lord Dagon? I'm gonna have to read that. Okay, so according to the dictionary, demesne, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, is a historical and a law noun, land attached to a manor and retained for the owner's own use. Land attached to a manor retained for the owner's own use, possession of real property in one's own right. Destroy her forever and enter the demesne of Lord Dagon. Very interesting. So he's talking about coming into the world, being birthed. So you destroy the mother as you come out, because labor is a very hard feat. And before there was medicine, it would be a very traumatic experience for mothers, a very dangerous experience for mothers. Destroy her forever and enter the demesne, and I'm pronouncing this correctly, of Lord Dagon. So this world, the world of reality, the world of matter, this world of limitations, of learn, of violence, of madness, Mankar Cameron here is saying that this is the property of Lord Dagon in a sense. An interesting point by Mankar Cameron. Commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes. Now, I'm gonna spoil it here straight away. I know I'm a nerd and I love this lore and so on and so forth. But the reason why this is so interesting is because it promises the idea of going to a paradise, of going into the heavens, of creating paradises. And Lord Dagon promises this. Now, in real theories, in real research of the afterlife, people are dying and they go on the other side and they say they can create their own paradise, their own places, their own heavens, if you may. So there is a correlation with our subconscious mind creating these fantasies and these epic narratives with the actual thing. Now let's continue reading. Reader, this book is your door to that demesne, and though you be a destroyer, you must still submit to logs. Lord Dagon would only have those clever enough to pause all else the Aurbis claims in their full running. Walk first, heed the impatience you feel is your first slave to behead. So I think he's talking about gaining knowledge. Unless the Aurbis I think is like the black void or something of that nature. Man, the Aurbis is something really important, but I forgot right now. I'm gonna Google it right now because I find this very interesting, and I am a big nerd. The Aurbis or gray maybe, is named for the universe. It includes Mundus, Oblivion, Ethereus, and the Void. It is the overlap of the two cosmic forces, Anu and Padme, distributed in all directions, are believed to be the Void. Ethereus follows the Void and is the home of the Magna G. Following Ethereus are the planes of Oblivion and the Daedra. The center of Aurbis is Mundus, the mortal plane. The center of Mundus is Nirn. Okay, so the Aurbis is like reality and creation itself. So all else the Aurbis claims in their full running. So it's reality as a whole. Okay, enter as Lord Dagon has written. Come slow and bring 4 keys. Know that then you are royalty, a new breed of destroyer, whose garden shall flood with flowers known and unknown, as it was in the mythic dawn. Thus shall you return to your first primal wail, and yet come out different. Shall this time be the Neonymbiasis, master akin to master, whose mother is miasma. Miasma, in other words. So another thing that I love about the Elder Scrolls lore is that they use a lot of occult items and occult themes, like in real occultism, which a lot of people, it goes over the head of a lot of people, but yeah, it's all out there. Miasma, in the context of an ancient medical theory, it refers to a noxious bad air that was believed to cause diseases. This belief, known as the miasma theory, originated from the idea that epidemics were spread by the foul smells emanating from decaying organic matter. It's a theory from the Middle Ages, and the foul smells and the infectious nature. So miasma, the smell. His mother is miasma, like the neonine, but okay, this is getting convoluted. Every quarter, as known as, and none born are passing except with trembling. Perhaps you came to us through war, or study, or shadow, or the alignment of certain snakes. Though each path matters in its kind, the price always does. Welcome, novitiate. That you are here at all means that you have the worthiness of kings. Seek the pocket now, and look, that is the first key, glinting with the light of a new dawn. So he's saying that either through war, through study, or shadow, or the alignment of certain snakes, the fates, the weavers, whatever led you to the mythic dawn. It could be like something despicable and evil like war, or just study and wanting to know more, or shadow, the shadow path of magic, which makes you yearn more and more and more. It leads you to the mythic dawn. Night follows day, and so know that this primary insight shall fall alike unto the turbulent evening sea, where all fates are tested. Again, a reassurance. Even the usurper went under the iliac before he rose up to claim his fleet. Fear only for a second, shake and believe is like water for a purpose. In the garden of the dawn, we shall breathe cold realities. Now, I absolutely love how the 8 ends here. Again, a reassurance. Even the usurper went under the iliac before he rose up to claim his fleet. Fear only for a second, shake and believe is like water for a purpose. In the garden of the dawn, we shall breathe whole realities. It's amazing. So this is what I'm telling. Like, in the garden of the dawn, the mythic dawn, the primordial, we shall breathe whole reality. So they're talking about creating their own heavens in this garden of the dawn, in this promised garden. It's very interesting. As I said, this ties the lore in our video games, in our fantasy narratives, with the real research that is saying that we literally, after that, we can create our own heavens. All heavens are real. Call it, just to talk about the lore, call it Sovngarde or call it Ethereus. Everything is real. It's very interesting. Enter as Lord Dagon, written, come slow and bring 4 keys. Okay, I feel like I have to expand further. I might make shorts about all of this, and might make some videos about all of this. The Garden of the Dawn, which should breed whole reality. This is why they are so fervent in their following of the mythic dawn, because this is the promise. If you think about real religion, Christianity, the whole idea of getting into the kingdom, of reaching this heaven, and not only that, when you push further, either in real life occultism or as in the game of the Elder Scrolls, the Mythic Dawn, this idea of creating your whole realities, which is what the Daedra does. They create their own realms of oblivion. The ideal masters try to create a real version of the world of Tamriel, but it's an imperfect version. It's a false heaven in a sense. It's not as perfect as the Adric creation. It is very interesting. Enter as Lord Dagon has written, "Come slow and bring 4 keys. Our order is based on the principles of his mighty razor, novitiate, questing knight, chaplain, and master. Let the evil ones burn in its light, as if by the excess of our vision, then shall our knowledge go aright. However, recall that your sight is yet narrow, and while you have the invitation, you have not the address." My own summons came to a book Lord Dagon wrote himself in the deserts of rust and wounds. Its name is the Mysterium Xarxes, Almerechada, aggregate, forefather to the wife of old Enigma. Each word is razor-fed and secret, thinner than cataclysms, tarnished like red drink. That I mention it at all is testament to your new rank, my child. Your name is now caught into its weight. So I think this whole writing from Mankar Camoran is about receiving the new initiates to the Mythic Dawn. Now, the whole idea of the Mysterium Xarxes is very interesting, because when you go into the idea of Xarxes in the Elder Scrolls, I have right here for the booking online, see Xarxes and Ogma. Xarxes is the god of secret knowledge and ancestry, and the Elven version of Arche. Okay? He began as a scribe to Uriel and keeps track of all Almeri accomplishments, whether they be large or small. Since the beginning of time, Xarxes created his wife, Ogma, from his favorite moments in history. He's the author of the Ogma Infinium. Created his wife, Ogma, from his favorite moments in history. We're talking about these beings beyond conception, these gods and goddesses. So the Mysterium Xarxes, the mystery of Xarxes. Xarxes is Arche, so this book could be called the mystery of Arche. So Arche is the god of life and death in the Elder Scrolls. It's tied to vampirism and so on and so forth. I made a video about this a long time ago, going through some of the lore in the Elder Scrolls Online. But I find this very interesting because we're talking about creating your own heavens, creating all of these things. And the Mysterium Xarxes. Why is Xarxes so important? Arche being the one who is in charge of the process of reincarnation, of the process of life and death, who chooses when life is and when death is. This is why vampirism, the idea of eternal life, is such an assault to the concept of Arche, to what he protects. He protects this real world, this material world, which, as Mankar Cameron says here, once you break the mother, you come into the demands, the mesna, whatever that word was, the property of Lord Dagon. So is Arche working with Dagon? What is going on here? Is the whole convolution and the pull, push and pull of the gods, the Aedra and the Daedra. So overcoming Arche, overcoming life and death, is the promise of the Mythic Dawn. Overcoming death and becoming immortal in a paradise of your own, in the paradises beyond this fake reality of Tamriel. In a way, you are defying the Aedra and the gods themselves. So who is good and who is evil? This is where all gets convoluted. And the ones who understand the Mysterium Xarxes go beyond this. Now, I know I'm sounding crazy and I'm talking about the lore, but this is the real dilemma. in the real research of the afterlife, people die and go into another experience, and they see the beings, and they're beings of light, and so on and so forth, and they are told that they have to come back, or they have lived many lives, and reincarnation seems to be a real thing. But a lot of people, once you go deep into the research, are saying, but why? Why do we come here to suffer? Why do we do all of this? There has to be something else. So there's another theory which suggests that we are trapped in this material world, and we are being deceived by higher beings into coming into this cycle of reincarnation. So in the lore of the Elder Scrolls, defeating Arcade to the Mysterium Xarxes, defeating life and death itself, and achieving immortality, going into the paradises beyond, is the real thing in the real research of the afterlife. It talks about the Ascension, overcoming this cycle of reincarnation and achieving the nirvana, as the Buddha said at some point you have to get over it and push beyond. This is what I want to do in this channel, just merge the lore and find the reality behind it all, because the lore is merely a reflection of the subconscious. Palace, hut, or cave, you have left all the fog worlds of conception behind. The fog worlds, Numancia, liberty, rejoice in the promise of paradise. Exactly what I'm saying. Numancia, liberty. Palace, hut, or cave. So what are they talking about? It doesn't matter if you're rich and live in a palace. It doesn't matter if you're middle class and live in a hut. It doesn't matter if you're poor and live in a cave. You have left all the fog walls. The fog is what's not real, what is false, what is fake. You leave all that conception behind of the real material world, which is a fog, which is a farce. And this is the real concept in Eastern traditions when you talk about the Bill of Maya and the whole idea that reality is false. But it's all in the Godhead. Oh, sorry, I'm just seeing your comment here. Yes, exactly. That is a very good point. I'm surprised that somebody's actually watching this, because I'm gonna be making all these videos and doing shorts and so on and so forth. Indeed, at the end of the day, all is singularity. Everything is part of the same thing. So when we think about the line going between who is evil and who is righteous, right now in the game, in the lore of the Elder Scrolls, we see the Mysterium Xarxes as the evil ones, and they do crazy things later, and they are evil. But when you think about the core foundation of their story, they're just trying to overcome life. So they're not really evil. Perhaps you're the evil one who wants to follow the game of the gods and keep people entrapped to the game of arcade, to the game of life and death. So right here, this little piece I also find extremely interesting. Palace, hut, or cave. So all of this, the Elder Scrolls lore, is based on some of the ascetic principles of Buddhism and some other real life religions. Palace, hut, or cave, as I was saying. Palace, it doesn't matter if you're rich and live in a palace. It doesn't matter if you're middle class and live in a hut, or if you're poor and or a monk or something and you live in a cave. You have left all the fog worlds, the worlds that are fake, of conception behind. Numancia, liberty, rejoice in the promise of paradise, and going beyond, as I said, into the realms of the non-physical. I have to Google Numancia because I believe this is one of another occult term. It's an ancient Numancia. I was pretty sure that it was something, but it seems to be an ancient Celto-Iberian settlement whose remains are located on a hill near Cerro. It's a place. It seems to be a place. I thought it was something different. I definitely have to go through that again at some point. Liberty, as I said, I just go super nerd into all of this, because this idea of overcoming life and overcoming the material to escape into the non-material through liberty. This is what the current research of the afterlife is really saying, going on forth and forth. As I said later on when I actually make videos about this whole thing, right now I'm just trying to record all of this. I will put the research and so on and so forth. Go read the book from Dr. Jeffrey Long, Evidence of the Afterlife. All these doctors are writing all of these books because this is the real thing. Endlessly, it shall form and reform around you, deeds as entities, all systems, only an hour before they bloom to serious sums, flowering like vestments, divine raiment, worn to dance at Lord Dagon's golden feet. In his first arm a storm, his second the rush of plagued rain, the third all the tinder of Anu, and the fourth the very eyes of Padme. Anu and Padme, this is another interesting thing. Feel uplifted in thine heart that you have this first key, for it shall strike high and low into the warm brood of false heavens. Interesting. Feel uplifted in thine heart that you have this first key, for it shall strike high and low into the warm road of false heavens. Tinder of Anu and Padme. So Anu and Padme are the primordial cosmic forces. It's like this whole idea of light and void of darkness. That's the primordial thing that is. So I'm gonna go right now because I'm going right now into the whole rant. I hope that I get to make some shorts about this whole thing. Anu, also known as Anu the Everything, is one of the two primordial concepts that have existed before Aurbis and the Void. So Aurbis and the Void. As I said, Aurbis is existence, reality in general as a whole. Anu is an equal and opposite force to his counterpart, most commonly called Padme, and is often considered to exist within all things, and personifies order, stasis, and light. Order, stasis, and light, Anu, before the void, before the Orbis creation, existence of everything, the material, the immaterial, the void, the nothingness. Before all of that, there was Anu the Everything, as it says here. I'm just reading from the wiki and Elder Scrolls. Order, stasis, and light. So okay, it's just a random lore, the Elder Scrolls. No. If you go into the research of the afterlife, people are dying, going to a near-death experience, and they meet a light that is intelligent, that is pure ecstasy, that is pure love, and this light communicates with people and tells them some of the rants that I go on in this channel and the research that I'm doing. So the other force is Padme, also known as Padme, or Padme with an H, like it's written here in the commentaries of the Mysterium Xarxes book 1, or PSJJJJ, for some reason, I don't know why. It's a primordial deity who personifies the concepts of chaos and change. Padme is always associated with its equal yet opposite force, Anu, and is heavily associated with the creation of Aurbis. So, okay, Anu is order, light, before everything, and Padme is simply this chaos and change, the opposite. So, like somebody commented here, all is in the Godhead. Yes, but there's also this Godhead created its own counterforce in order to experience. Now that is in the deep philosophy, and when people go into these outer states of consciousness, they come back with some answers. That seems to be the thing, that this one force, this singularity, this oneness, created its opposite to experience itself as its true nature. Otherwise, it couldn't be all intelligent, all order, all perfect. It's a little bit with it goes a little bit into the whole idea of Shegarat and Gigalight, his counterpart. Okay, the dinner of Anu, and therefore the very eyes of Padme, feel uplifted and hard. You may have the first key, for it shall strike high and low into the warm road of false heavens. Roaring, I wandered until I grew hoarse with the gospel. I had read the mysteries of Lord Dagon, and feeling anew went mad with the overflow. My words found no purchase until I became hidden These were not words for the common of Tamriel. This clergy long ago feigned the very existence of the dawn. Learn from my mistake. Know that humility was Mankar Cameron's original wisdom. Slow and bring forth keys, saying that this gospel. Roaring, I wonder until I grew with the gospel. I had read the mysteries of Lord Dagon, feeling anew, went mad with the overflow. It's so amazing, it's so interesting that people go mad when they come to this knowledge. Just something that happened to me when I started doing the actual research on the afterlife. It is actually mind blowing. So this is not for normal people. This is not for normal clergy. This is, as I said, this Mankar Cameron Commentaries Book 1 is him receiving people into the order and telling them about this, how important is the Mysterium Xarxes, offering myself to that daybreak aloud, the girdle of grace to contain me when my voice returned. It spoke with another tongue. After 3 nights, I could speak fire. Now this is a reference to the scriptures and the Bible, because in the Bible it is written that when the students, I remember the apostles, whatever, the followers of Jesus, when they received the quote-unquote Holy Spirit, they were speaking in tongues and they would speak fire. So this is a direct reference to the Bible. Now, when you go into the real research of what happened there, it has to do with altered states of consciousness. And when people go into these altered states of consciousness and they see angels or aliens or beings or whatever you may want to call them, or Adria or Daedra if you may, they come with certain knowledge. Now the way that they communicate in these experiences is telepathic. It's not through words, it's telepathic, and it's also informed in geometry. When you read into the psychedelic experience and how people go into this entheogen experience, they see geometric shapes and they understand everything in the universe. It's not even like they're not explained anything, they just understand everything. It's a different sort of language. The 3 nights I could speak fire, red drink, razor fed, I had glimpsed the path onto the garden. I knew that inform others of its harbor. I had to first drown myself in research seas. Know ye that I have found my fleet, and that you are the flagship of my hope. Greetings, novitiate. Mankar Cameron was once you, asleep, unwise, pseudonymic, but am no more. Now I sit and wait to feast with thee on all the worlds of this cosmos, new mantia, liberty. So he's receiving the people. Now he's found his fleet. You are lost in the world. You are lost in the realm of chaos, in reality, in the physical world. But now you understand the truth behind it all, and you are no longer asleep. And now I sit and wait to feast with thee on all the worlds of this cosmos, mantia, liberty. So you're gonna overcome the material world and go not only into the paradise that was promised to them by Lord Dagon, not only into a false heaven that they speak of, but to all the worlds in the cosmos, because that seems to be the true liberty of overcoming the game of Archy, the game of the material and the physical. And now, as I say this, I know I'm nerding out in this lore of the Elder Scrolls, but I'm putting in the real things, the real research that is happening. This is what the Buddha said. You overcome, you achieve the nirvana, and then you can go to the heavens, you can talk to the devas, the gods and goddesses, you go beyond. This is what people are saying. This is just bloody amazing. So commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, I might make a whole video about this whole thing at some point. I'm just nerding out about this whole thing. You know, it is a little bit too much, it's a little bit too much, it is too much. As I said, I do this research in real life, the research of the afterlife, the research of the altered states of consciousness, and when I sit down and play these games, I realize that it's basically, these video games are basically a subconscious expression of a higher truth. So it's not just lore. It's not just nonsense. This is what really seems to be happening. People are going to the other side, and they are coming with the stories of the cosmos, of overcoming the world of the flesh. Of it's kind of like religion, like what all the religions said before, but not really the dogmatic religions. The truth is much bigger than all of that, and it's much more convoluted, and it has to do with science and the quantum fields and so on and so forth. It is very crazy. I promise that if this later on when I have time and I do all of these shorts and then I make videos in the future, I will put all of the research together, because that's where I do in real life on my real channel. It's not just lore, it goes beyond. It goes beyond the lore is the name of this channel. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now because I need to go to sleep. Save and call it a day. Cheers.